How to Use Your Mind. Chapter 1. Intellectual Problems of the Student. In entering upon a college course, you're taking a step that may completely revolutionize your life. You're facing new situations, vastly different from any you have previously met. They are also of great variety, like finding a place to eat and sleep, regulating your own finances, inaugurating a new social life, forming new friendships, and developing in body and mind. The problems connected with mental development will engage your chief attention. You're now going to use your mind more actively than ever before and should survey some of the intellectual difficulties before plunging into the fight. Perhaps the first difficulty you'll encounter is the substitution of the lecture for the class recitation to which you were accustomed in high school. This substitution requires that you develop a new technique of learning, for the mental processes involved in an oral recitation are different from those used in listening to a lecture. The lecture system implies that the lecturer has a fund of knowledge about a certain field and has organized this knowledge in a form that is not duplicated in the literature of the subject. The manner of presentation, then, is unique and is the only means of securing the knowledge in just that form. As soon as the words have left the mouth of the lecturer, they cease to be accessible to you. Such conditions require a unique mental attitude and unique mental habits. You will be obliged in the first place to maintain sustained attention over long periods of time. The situation is not like that in reading, in which a temporary lapse of attention may be remedied by turning back and rereading. In listening to a lecture, you are obliged to catch the words on the fly. Accordingly, you must develop new habits of paying attention. You will also need to develop a new technique for memorizing, especially for memorizing things heard. As a partial aid in this, and also for purposes of organizing material received in lectures, you'll need to develop ability to take notes. This is a process with which you have heretofore had little to do. It's a most important phase of college life, however, and will repay earnest study. Another characteristic of college study is the vast amounts of reading required. Instead of using a single textbook for each course, you may use several. They may cover great historical periods and represent the ideas of many men. In view of the amount of reading assigned, you will also be obliged to learn to read faster. No longer will you have time to dawdle sleepily through the pages of easy texts. You'll have to cover perhaps 50 or 100 pages of knotty reading every day. Accordingly, you must learn to handle books expeditiously and to comprehend quickly. In fact, economy must be your watchword throughout. A German lesson in high school may cover 30 or 40 lines a day, requiring an hour's preparation. But a German assignment in college, however, may cover 4 or 5, maybe a dozen pages, requiring hard work for 2 or 3 hours. You should be warned also that the college demands not only a greater quantity, but also a higher quality of work. When you were a high school student, the world expected only a high school student's accomplishments of you. Now that you're a college student, and your intellectual responsibilities have increased, the world regards you now as a person of considerable scholastic attainment and expects more of you than ever before. In academic terms, this means that in order to attain a grade of 95 in college, you'll have to work much harder than you did for that same grade in high school. For here you have not only more difficult subject matter, but also keener competition for the first place. In high school, you may have been the brightest student in your class. In college, however, you encounter the brightest students from many schools. If your merits are going to stand out prominently, therefore, you must work much harder. Your work from now on must be of better quality. Not the least of the perplexities of your life as a college student will arise from the fact that no daily schedule is arranged for you. The only time definitely assigned for your work is the 15 hours a week, more or less, spent in the classroom. The rest of your schedule must be arranged by yourself. This is a real task, and will require care and thought if your work is to be done with greatest economy of time and effort. This brief survey completes the catalog of problems of mental development that will vex you most in adjusting your methods of study to college conditions. In order to make this adjustment, you'll be obliged to form a number of new habits. Indeed, as you become more and more expert as a student, you will see that the whole process resolves itself into one habit formation. For a while, college education has two phases, the acquisition of facts and the formation of habits. It's the latter which is the more important. Many of the facts that you learn will be forgotten. Many will be outlawed by time. But the habits of study that you form will be permanent possessions. They will consist of such things as methods of grasping facts, methods of reasoning about facts, and of concentrating attention. In acquiring these habits, you must have some material upon which you may concentrate
Sample complete. Ready to continue?